Alright, Shalom. I want to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Bahashim Rukakudash, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and grace and peace to you elect around the four winds, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. This is your fellow servant, Rokoyer from the GMS Orlando camp, coming at you with another impromptu lesson. The title of this lesson is Fatherlessness is a Catalyst to a Destructive Society. Fatherlessness is a catalyst to a destructive society. All right, now tonight's lesson comes off the behest of a conversation I was having with the Rib about 30 minutes, 40 minutes ago. And she was watching a podcast, or she had watched a podcast earlier, in the day. And one of the topics was the importance of a father, in the household. And I just want to touch on this topic, little ones edifying unto you elect, because it has, both spiritual and physical implications that are important for us to hopefully elect, and it's essentially values that we're coming back into, spiritually and physically, as the Lord establishes his relationship with his elect once again, with us, Lord willing, we're the elect, whereas we were fatherless, in the world, we were fatherless. We were without guidance, so to speak. But the Lord returning the Spirit back unto us. All right. As the Lord returned his Spirit back unto us, he allowed us back into his household, and the Father essentially returned back into our house. And now we're receiving guidance, we're receiving the proper discipline and structure that all men need to grow, and on a physical sense, as the Lord comes, when the Lord comes and establishes his kingdom, all right, the presence of a father is going to be a critical role. The presence of a father is going to actually be a reality, wherein today it's not. Today, due to the curses and due to the rulers that be, there are many households here in Babylon the Great that are void of fathers. And it's a common thing, especially amongst our nation, amongst Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. But I want to get this here in Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 1, because she was asking me, my views on it, and my views are scriptural, as all of ours are. All of our views are scriptural when it comes to any topic. This is Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right, because the ruler of the city incentivizes fatherless households, that's what we see within society. The so-called white man, who was Esau Edom according to the Bible, has incentivized fatherless households. That's why they give the women of our nation specifically government assistance, habitat housing, and different forms of government aid that require a man to be outside of the household. And this is an incentive that a lot of our people have followed, because Esau has also created a society to where it's survival of the fittest. Everyone is trying their best to survive in the society. Nobody has the chance to really live, especially when it comes to Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. There is no life here in America, Babylon the Great, or wherever you're scattered. It's only survival. And that's an environment that was strategically set in place, all right, in order for those of our people who don't have the vision, who don't have the faith, to flock unto him for his vision and for his solution, which is to remove the father out of the household. And there's a reason for that. Let's get it in the book of Matthew. Because in order to overtake a house, Excuse this commercial. In order to overtake a house, you must first do this. This is Matthew chapter 12 and verse 29. It reads, "Or else, how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house?" All right, so in order to overtake a household, you first have to bind the strong man, because the man is the first line of defense. Well, I put this the second line of defense, because the first line of defense is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. But we know that the Lord turned his face from us. All right, that second line of defense was taken away by the enemy through these different government incentives, which has caused the family structure to be completely destroyed. And now we have communities. It's not just prevalent in the black so-called black community. It's prevalent in the so-called Latino and Native American community as well. All right, now we have communities of fatherless households, which lays precedent for Esau to come in and overtake the house. Now he has power over the women and the children to mold and shape and to frame their mindset and their spirits toward his liking. That's why you see all these loosely clad women. That's why you see all of these, over sexualized children and women throughout social media and throughout your society, because Esau he's behind the strong man, and now he's overtaking the house through ultimately the power of the Lord, because the Lord gave him this power. He didn't usurp the power for himself. The Lord gave Esau Edom the power to do this. Like it says in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, he who now letteth will let. The Lord let this nigga create this type of society. He let him bind our strong men. And we're coming out of that time. We're coming out of those bonds. We're coming out of those imaginations that were set forth by Esau Edom, starting with this word, starting with the understanding of this word and this truth, and the understanding of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Heavenly Father to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of the Heavenly Father, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of a Mashiach." All right, the loosing of those bonds started first with the receiving of the Lord's Spirit in this word. It helped us loose those strongholds. It helped us loose those imaginations that were cast deeply upon our people. And whereas once we were fatherless spiritually, now the Lord has returned. Now the Lord is being a father to the fatherless. He's given us guidance. He's given us discipline. All right, he's given us protection. He's given us stability. Because if it's one thing that you could count on, it's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. He's the most consistent thing in our life when you really think about it. From before the womb up until this point, the Lord has been the most consistent thing in our life. He's maintained, nourished, and guided us up until this very point. From the womb, from the conception to the womb, to the birth, to the living up until, however old you are. The Lord has been consistent. And that is a product of a good father, man. We have the best father there is. This is give me a second. Just trying to get in Isaiah. might not. Let me see. Um, Hold on real quick. Right. I'm gonna get these two, and we're gonna get another one. All right, I want to get this first in Sirach or Ecclesiastes 35 in verse 13. It says, "He will not accept any person against the poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed." All right, and that's what's happening. He will not despise the supplication of the fatherless, nor the widow when she poureth out her complaint. All right, and as we poured out our complaints into the Heavenly Father, He's heard it. All right, He's heard our supplications. He's heard our cries for a father, for our Father to return. You know, that being uh, more accurate. For our Father to return. All right, the Lord has heard those supplications. He's heard those cries, and now, first and foremost, He's raised up His prophets to be fathers unto the fatherless. All right, and He's given us His Spirit as well. All right, this is Sirach or Ecclesiastes 14, and not 14. So it's like this is Sirach or Ecclesiastes chapter 3, 4, in verse 10. I don't know why I get my numbers mixed up. Damn commercial. It says, "Be as a father unto the fatherless, and instead of an husband unto her mother. So shalt thou be as unto a son, as the son of the Most High, and he shall love thee more than thy mother doth." All right. And the Lord has raised up His prophets to be fathers unto the fatherless. Essentially to give that guidance, to give that discipline. To offer up that discipline, that vision unto the elect of our nation. And Lord willing, we be of that number. But the Lord has raised up His prophets to be fathers unto the fatherless, man. And that's important. And that's why you see an influx of strong, manly men raising up here in these latter days, because the Spirit of the Lord is being poured upon this place, especially when it comes to the men of the Lord. All right, real men are being raised up in the midst of this effeminate society. And it's all due to the Spirit of the Lord being placed upon His men here in these latter days. All right, the Father returning unto the fatherless and guiding and disciplining us properly, and training and raising us up in the proper way, so that we may show ourselves men in these latter days. Now when it comes to, the physical aspect of fatherlessness, on a societal aspect, fathers are important. Mothers are important as well. They both play an essential part in a child's upbringing, because you need both. You need both aspects. You need a mother's nourishment. You need her affection, and you also need a father's discipline. You need his sternness as well, his guidance, his discipline. Both are important when it comes to building up a strong family. But in terms of fathers, they're very important in the development of not only a young man's life, but a young woman's life as well. And strong families equate to a strong society. And the reason why society is in shambles is because strong families have not been incentivized. Esau Edom has incentivized single parent households. He's incentivized single motherhood, single fatherhood, which has destroyed his own society. In his attempt to destroy us Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians, he's laid the trap for himself, like it says in the book of Job. And all these snares that he's laid for us, he's fallen into the very same traps. Now his children are being victims to fatherless households. Now their men are being raised up to be emotional and effeminate. which is a very dangerous thing, because when you have a grown man, and the elder Yashawamba says it all the time, when you have a grown man with all this testosterone, with all this power, with a effeminate woman mindset, it's a very dangerous thing. They're essentially ticking time bombs, ticking time bombs in your society. And that's why you see this crash out culture, because a lot of these men have been raised by women. They don't have proper rule over their emotions and over their feelings. They've been taught to blurt out everything that comes to their mind, to act on every feeling that they have, and to not, discipline themselves. And that's why you see all these crashed out niggas. Any little shift in their emotion messes up their whole day, and they're willing to take not only their life but the lives of others because of the way they feel. And that's the product of fatherless households, man. These GMO babies, as the elder Apostle Ricard calls them. GMO. he's he's these GMO mop head niggas. He's these GMO mop head niggas, man. Excuse me, man. That's hilarious. But this is Sirach, or Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Again, it says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so is the officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. All right, and an unwise king has destroyed his own people. Esau Edom has destroyed not only our people, but his own people themselves. Because he's unfit to rule. He doesn't have the proper vision that's needed to rule over a people, to rule over a society, because he doesn't follow the standard of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. The family structure should not be like it is. You shouldn't have men taking on the role of a woman, and woman taking on the role of a man, and children ruling over their households. You shouldn't have this type of society. The only reason why you have this type of society is because Esau Edom has incentivized it. And the reason why you have these children running rampant in this society is because there's no one in the home to teach and guide them. Because even if you are so-called fortunate to have a two-parent household, the parents don't have enough time to teach and guide their children, because Esau has also engineered a society, like we talked about before, to where everybody's surviving. And the average household is living check to check. Two-parent household is struggling, fighting tooth and nail to stay in the low middle class bracket. So that means that you have two parents who are working probably over 40 hours a week. So they come home and they're tired. They're dealing with the world. They're dealing with their own relationship problems. And then they come home and they don't have time enough to debunk all the filth and the bullshit that their children have learned through social media, through the TV, through this fool system, which is the so-called educational system. They don't have enough time to debunk all these things. So their children are essentially raised by the media and the information that Esau Edom has put out here in the world, which is all false, which is all designed to destroy you mentally and spiritually. But all these things are going to change, and they are changing. All right, as I sit here today, the Lord is moving on this society. The Lord is moving on this planet, and the Lord is starting to make a shift in the planet Earth. And when He returns, All right, the world is going to be set right side up again. This is Sirach or Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. All right, the one that is profitable unto the earth is the one that it was designed for from the foundation, which is Yahweh Shai. He's the one that the earth is going to profit from his rulership, from his dominion, because the Lord is going to establish righteousness in the planet earth, equity, justice, and judgment, which is what the world needs. And the Lord is coming to establish that. All right, the Lord is coming to establish a strong family once again, starting with his nation. Because a strong family is the nucleus to a strong society. The Lord is coming to establish this once again. All right, he's coming to establish the men in their proper places once again as well, as the head of the household, as the disciplinarians, as the guiders, you know, as those authoritarians, you know, as those followers of righteousness first and foremost. With that being said, Lord wants to edify unto you elect. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakwadash, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Grace and peace to you elect around the four winds, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. Shalom. Stay up.